our very first member meeting outside of the launch.
Yay!
Woo! This is the Global Educator Group, South Florida, otherwise known as GEG SoFla, GEG SoFla, many other names. I'm used to being called a lot of names, so whatever you want to call it. My name is Robin Larry. I am a teacher at Park Vista High School. I teach English, media studies, and yearbook. My son also goes to the school. He'll be graduating this year. My daughter graduated in 2018. I'm the leader and founder of the GEG South Florida. And that's about all I can think to say. Oh, tonight's theme is books. I have my Jane Goodall hat on. And you'll see that everybody has a theme going on with their favorite books or books that they are aware of. This is our special guest tonight, Daren. He is going to show us book creators. So let's toss it over to Danielle. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Danielle Clark here, Inspire Captain for GEG South Florida. So if you've been following along with us, we did a recent What the Wednesday on Book Creator with my husband, Billy Clark, also from Park Vista High School. And we are so excited to have Daren here. I can't wait to learn some more about Book Creator. But we also want to turn it over to our captain of captains, Jody, to introduce our new captain tonight.
Yes. So thank you, Danielle. I'm Jody Wolfthal. I am our Empower Captain, or Captain of Captains, as we like to call it, for GEG South Florida. And I'm so excited to introduce Stephanie Hunt as our new captain, our new part of leadership. It is so exciting, our new share captain. So we're so excited to get that out and share that news. So Stephanie, would you like to share a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. And how ironic, I am the Grinch who does not like to share, but I am the share captain. And thank you guys. We have the best team ever. We have so many wonderful things going on. And as the share captain, one of my tasks, which is a labor of absolute love, is to tweet. Who would think that I would actually have a job tweeting? Because I love doing it anyway, right? So it's an opportunity to shout out our membership. We have some wonderful members. We're going to have a member of the month coming up. So yeah, if you have something spectacular, something wonderful that you want to share about your Google experience, let us know. And we're going to tweet it out and share that to the whole membership team.
Awesome. It really is a pleasure working with everybody. We are missing tonight Eric Jurgensen. He had surgery recently, so he's doing some physical therapy, but he's been behind the scenes and helping us out. He just couldn't make it tonight for the meeting. We're going to start off with Jody is going to explain to everybody about what Wednesdays. Jody, take it.
Yep. So I actually have a little commercial. Can I just share my screen and then play it for you guys? Does that work? Present now. Your entire screen. Bum, ba, bum. All right. So you guys can see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Awesome. I hope that the sound plays through.
No sound.
No
It's so good.
You don't hear the sound?
No.
All right. So you know what? I'm just going to send it out then if you guys can't hear the sound, and I'm just going to give a short little synopsis. So basically our What the What Wednesday is really quick tips on new apps, or maybe just new apps to us that we think are really great, that we want to share, that we think is going to be really great and useful in the classroom. So next week's What the What Wednesday is going to be how to build virtual field trips. So my little promotion was just a little quick sneak peek on virtual field trips that I've built, so that way you can kind of see what's coming and get excited for next week.
Yay! Yeah, the What the What Wednesdays. We decided to call it What the What Wednesdays was because, you know, what the what, like what's going on, and it just went well, the alliteration with the W sound. So and in addition to the What the What Wednesdays, we are starting something real soon that is going to be, I think, really, really exciting as well. And that is our Member of the Month Mondays. And we're calling it Meet Mom for Member of the Month. And Stephanie has been spearheading that. So Stephanie, could you give us a little more information about that?
Sure. Okay, so our moms are members that really are doing something that showcases what's so wonderful about Google. Maybe it's something they're doing in their classroom, maybe it's their usage of a tool. And we're just recognizing people in, I mean, we're growing and we're growing really, really fast. And the best way to grow is to grow together. And just by spotlighting one member a month, hopefully it'll just be an opportunity to continue to inspire each other and just kind of ignite that fire that's already there. So we have on the radar our first mom, and that's going to be released out at the end of the month. It'll be the fourth Monday of the month. So that's coming very, very soon. It'll be on Twitter, and then it also will be on our website. And then that'll be a great recognition for our moms going forward.
And it's awesome because we all know, I think when we get observed and there's that celebrating success, we're all like, seriously, like we high five kids all the time. We do all this kind of stuff, but we all know that it's nice to be recognized for the hard work that we do and the innovative stuff that we do. And it's really based around that. And there's no judgment. If you're not picked, it doesn't mean that you didn't deserve it. We can only pick one a month, and that's kind of how we're going to do it. But coming up now is our featured guest speaker, Daren White. Daren comes to us all the way from the UK, and Daren is a expert extraordinaire, specialist beyond specialists of book creator, among many other things. Video. He's got a whole lot of tricks in his bag, and he's going to show us tonight a little bit more about book creator and hopefully how you'll be able to incorporate that into your curriculum. Don't get scared if you're a math teacher and you think that book creator, I can't do book creator, because that can only be for English or language arts teachers. Book creator is across the curriculum. So he's here to inspire you a little bit more about book creator. You want to tell us about it, Daren?
Sure. Thanks for having me on. Obviously, one of the things that people are most surprised is that house elves can even create books, let alone online ones. But it's one of the things I've been working on back in Hogwarts. Virtual field trips, I think, are fantastic. One of my professors at Hogwarts made one using Tour Creator, and we went on a visit to Azkaban, and that was great fun, really exciting. So good luck with that next week. But actually, it's far too hot to wear this, so I'm going to have to take that off because that's ridiculous. So, yeah.
Put the mask on.
No, this is the mask.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
Yep. So basically, yeah, Book Creator, a fantastic tool. I've literally known about Book Creator for about 4 or 5 years. And when I first looked at it, I was using something called an iPad, which you might have heard of. And I think it was an iPad 2. Because there was one before that. And I looked at Book Creator and it looked really complicated. And I looked at it and I thought, it's not really much I could do with that. I'm a language teacher by trade. Didn't really fancy it much. Put it away, never bothered. Then in 2017, the Chrome version came out. And I still didn't bother because I didn't have time. Because I'm far too busy for all that kind of thing. And then fortunately, this virus appeared, which has been really, really beneficial for lots of PD. So I started looking at Book Creator again because I was having an issue with staff principally that were trying to deliver online lessons at home, but didn't really get on with watching tutorial videos. So I was sending videos to them and they weren't really getting on because it was all happening too quick or they weren't comfortable with the technology. So I had a bit of a think about a different way of doing it. And I was going to put together Google Slides and I just thought, that's a bit naff. And then I suddenly thought, do you know what? Let's have another look at Book Creator. And I suddenly realized that it had moved on leaps and bounds from when I previously looked at it. So what I started doing, I'm just going to share my screen with you guys. What I started doing, let me just go up to that one. I started off with my library. I created this book, which was called Too Sweet. Nice tenuous link, okay? And it was literally just top tips for G Suite tools during distance learning. And this was something I created back in March. And to start off with, and when I spoke to Eric, he was kind of keen to kind of go through the creative process, if you like, and where it came from. So all I did was I kind of did a bit of an introduction about myself, just because I love myself and I think I'm great. And my mum said I was, so she must have been right. And then I just looked at what are the different things that I'm using that might be useful to other people? And then I just thought, oh, I know, I'll do a contents page, because that's what books have, right? We have a contents page. I didn't know much about Book Creator at that point. So at the moment, that's just a contents page. That's fine. But you can see we've got things in there like Google Classroom, Gmail, Docs. And then I kind of just branched out towards the end into Screencastify, WeVideo, and some of those other tools, and literally just created a page for each thing, mixing it up with screenshots, little bits of top tips and tricks, making really important things stand out, and then kind of worked it through from there. So my first book really was screenshots and information. And I got really good feedback on it, which I was quite surprised about because I didn't think anyone would read it. So I embedded a few bits and pieces, and I gave a shout out to a few people, and you know, it was well received. So I thought to myself, well, I should probably do a follow-up then. So I created this one because it's extra sweet, because it's add-ons, extensions, and third-party products that boost that G Suite experience. And obviously, it's quality content as well, because my mum said so. And again, I did a lovely little introduction, but it got shorter, unlike me. And again, I did a contents, but I broke it down a little bit this time. You can see things are developing, right? And then I thought to myself, actually, I don't just have to have pictures, I can have videos. And I'd had lots of videos that I've been putting together, and I suddenly realized that I could embed those into my book. So I started to put videos in as well as screenshots, and those videos play within the book. And then I realized that you can add other icons and things like that as well, and that you can hyperlink exactly as you want to. So I started putting all of this together, and I released this one. And again, it's free, and all the links take you to the right kind of pages to download it for yourself. So quite useful. And again, it's just my own experience, my own tips and things like that, links to the website, and kind of things that you might want to try out. And that was received quite well as well. So I chucked it in there and I said, buy me a coffee at the end, and people started doing that. So I thought to myself, do you know what? Well, I like coffee, let's do another one. And this was by sort of mid-April. And we kind of got into this phase of, you know, teaching online wasn't just give them some assessments to do that self-marked. It was more about trying to engage students. So I came up with EduVision, because there's no point unless you're making your online teaching engaging, because there's no point vlogging a dead horse. Gotta love that, right? So Robin's loving that. It's brilliant, because there's lots of people putting loads of effort into their online teaching, and the kids weren't engaging with it. So what could we do? So I kind of went through all of the different things you could do. So I went through what my setup looked like at the time, just to show people it doesn't have to be perfect. There will be wires everywhere, because you're not at work. Just don't fall over them. You know, yes, be careful how many things you plug into an extension, you know, but don't expect it to be perfect, because it's not designed for that. This is my wife's nail room that I'm in. You wouldn't know that with a big green screen. I've got 4 screens going on, ring lights and all sorts of things. But that's the way it works for us. And I've kicked her out. So, you know, that's the way that goes. But then I started to look at green screening and other bits and pieces that you could make things more enjoyable. Advice about not panicking, and then putting my videos in, embedding them from YouTube and things like that, and making them really easy. So it's read the little bit of content, watch the video or click the link if you want to, create your own badges and things like that we did there, how to use Google Meet, creative app smashes for getting around breakout rooms and things like that, and then other tools that you might want to use to engage students and so on. And that went really well, and it was well received, and I put the useful links in there again, and people bought me a coffee. So I was happy. So I thought, let's do another one. And I was loving WeVideo. So I made one about WeVideo. And then I suddenly thought to myself, well, when we get to the start of the year, there's going to be new staff who don't really understand Google Classroom. So I made a Google Classroom 101. Okay. And then I thought, actually, Book Creator is really good. So I made a Book Creator book about Book Creator. All I need to do now is make a book about making a book about Book Creator, and I'll be happy. Okay. So this is literally everything you need to know about Book Creator. And then be your own hero, achieve inbox 0. And then I've got this one sitting there to remind me that I just need to start work on that. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but at some point it's going to be a new one. So that was really my creative kind of process. It's what am I doing? What can I share? But also, how can I present the information to people in a way that's engaging and different? And obviously, Book Creator enables us to do that. And then you're able to invite people to join that. And this is the thing I love, right? This is a brilliant, brilliant aspect of Book Creator. I've got the option down here to combine books. So I can choose to take 2 Sweet and Extra Sweet and put them together and make one book and maybe call it So Sweet. And instead of having to start from scratch, it's just going to create a book for me that contains both books. So if I'm working with students, I might have students all producing their own books, and I could then create them all into a class book. Or I might say to the students, look, I don't want a book, I want a page. I want a page with a poem, with illustrations, with sound effects, with mood music, whatever you like with it, and then pull it all together into a class book of all their poems that you can send home to the parents, and you can play, because they've all got screen readers. So the only thing it hasn't done is created a title page for me. But if I open it up, we've got then, there's 2 Sweet. And if I just click on the pages view, we can see it goes through all of those, and then it goes into Extra Sweet there. So it's pulled it all together in one book that easily for me. Really, really straightforward. And now I just need to create a book. And because with the free version of Book Creator, you only get 40 books, what you can do is say, okay, well, now I've combined those two, I'll keep that one, and now I've got an extra book available. So really, really clever. And what I can do is I can take my working title, for example, I can open it up and I can share it with the students. I can invite them to join, and I can do something like say, right, you two take page 4 and 5. You two take page 6 and 7. You two take page 8 and 9, and they can work collaboratively on it. And I've added a few bits and pieces in here just from an earlier session I was doing. I'm going to take those out just because I want to show you a few bits and pieces that are really cool. Okay, so I'm not worried about this in particular. But what I will do is go back to the first page, because my top tip is this. When you're in Book Creator, whether you're in the free version or the paid version, and the free version, like I say, you get 1 library and 40 books. If you go click new book, there are 2 lots of options. There's the blank page and the comic page. And I would 100% of the time choose the comic pages. And the reason for that is very simple. If you go into a normal blank page book, you don't get as many options as you get in the comic book. Okay, so if I open up a square comic, for example, it asks me to create a cover. So I would just go up to the plus button. I want to create some text. So I would choose title, for example, and just call this, for the moment, as a working title. Okay, and just chuck that in there. And then I might want to say, do you know what? First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add another page. I want a nice layout. So I go up to the plus button and I'm going to choose panels. And I'm going to choose a layout that suits me. So I probably want to introduce it a little bit. I quite like that one. And I quite like that one. I'd like that round the other way, ideally, with the 2 squares on the left and that on the right. So I'm going to choose that one, and then I'm going to be sneaky. Because what I'm going to do, although these are preset patterns, if I right click here, I can unlock and I can delete that one. And then what I can do, if I want to, is I can stretch this one and make it very similar. And then I can unlock this one and shrink that one. So I can adapt it any way I like, really, and then just lock it again. So I've got the option now to start including information. So I'm going to go up to the plus button. Again, I'm going to go to text, but this time I'm going to use a caption. And this is just going to be an introduction. Okay, so I'm just going to drop that in there. Introduction, drag it around, go to the inspect button, and I can choose how big I want that introduction to be. So I can go really big with it. I can choose the text I want and the formatting. I like comic title. Okay, don't know why, I just do. I can change the color if I want, so I can go red with it. I can change to even a more specific one if I want and apply that. Okay. I can also create a different color background if I want. So I can choose a different background to go behind it. And I can also add a shadow to make it pump out from the page a little bit, and then just stretch it so that it covers the whole thing. So I've got my introduction there. Now, if this is going to be about Florida, what I might want to do is to explain to people where that is, because nobody's probably heard of it. All right. So if I want to, I can just say, right, okay, go up here to media, and I'm going to import a Google map. So I search for a place. So I'm going to search for a place called Florida, and I'm going to go for Florida Keys. And it's quite blank, isn't it? So we can zoom out a little bit.
Yeah, the keys are like really, yeah, there you go. They're a bit in the water.
Yep. So here we go. I can choose whether I want a normal map with terrain or whether I want a satellite view, which I quite like. So I'm just going to add that in, and I can resize that however I want. So I can choose to zip that down a little bit. I could pop it here, and I could then say, actually, do you know what? I'm going to unlock that and just move it up a little bit, and I'm just going to relock that there. So now I've got my Google map, which is completely interactive. I can click on this when it's in view mode and zoom in and have a look around as much as I want to. Okay. I now don't like that, so I'm just going to use my guidelines to help me, and I'm just going to say, actually, do you know what? Let's inspect that and middle it, just because that's kind of bugging me a little bit. Now, I don't like the back of the page, so I'm going to add a little bit of color to it. So there we go. All of a sudden, it's so much more punchy. Okay. And now I can add anything I want. So I might want to add an image or a text. So Florida's amazing. Here we go. Actually, let's put that there. It's always nice when it kind of jumps across things, and you can even kind of twist them and spin them around a little bit. I want to add some text in there, just normal text. So I'm just going to say, Florida is quite wet. Okay. And just add that in there. And again, I can resize that anytime I like and make it fit. And I can just be quite happy with that and leave it as it is. But then I might want to include some images as well. So I can go to media again. I can go to import. I can go images. And all of these are completely labeled for reuse. So you've got no issue with copywriting or anything like that. And there's this chap here on his holidays to Florida. I'm just going to include him. He seems like a trustworthy kind of guy. Yeah, oh, he doesn't look very happy about flying. So I don't know why. There we go. So I can just choose to drop him in anywhere I like. And if I want to, because he's an image, I can also hyperlink him. So if I click on the inspect button, I've got the option to either hyperlink him to a web address or a page number. So if I wanted to, I could link that to a website or a different page in the book. And I can add alternative text like a grumpy orange man, for example, for anyone who's using the screen reader to be able to know exactly what it is. All right. Now, I do know that this is a guy called Donald Trump. So I'm just going to find him on the whitehouse.gov. There we go. I'm going to take that website there, copy that, bring it through into the hyperlink here and paste that in. And you'll notice there's no save button. Don't need to save it. It does it for me. It's fantastic. I can add more text here if I want, but I might want to add something else. So I can also take a photo. I can also draw. I can have my text, or I can record. So I can record my voice, or I can bring in a picture. So I could take a picture. And this might not work depending on my camera. There we go. It's a bit dark. Let me put one of my many lights on. That might help a little bit. There we go. So I'm just going to record a video. Counts me in. Wow, this is amazing. They let orange people onto planes. Fantastic. I actually am in with a chance with my hair. Brilliant. I can play it and check I'm happy with it and then click use video. Okay. And it's going to drop that video in as a massive, great video that I can then resize however I want, drop it in, and it will play when I want it to. I can also, if I want to, include shapes. So I can have speech bubbles. So I could, for example, just shrink that down slightly. just move my amazing over. I could even do this, and then I can add text to this bubble by saying, you're doing, I think I've heard him say this before, you're doing a great job. Pretty sure I've heard that being said. And I can just chuck that in there, use the inspect, well, yeah, we're doing a great job, leave it in there, okay? So there's my first page kind of done. Go to a second page, I can choose a different layout again. I don't have to have the panels, but I can. So I can choose different panels. I quite like these funky shapes. Now, the biggest difference with these is if I double click within and take a picture, it's automatically going to size it to the shape. If I click here and choose a picture, it's automatically going to size it to the shape. So if I choose, for example, is it alligators or crocodiles in Florida?
Gators. It's not even alligators. It's just gators because those are the only ones who count. Just saying.
Okay, so gators in the UK are like really large welly boots. Just so we're clear. They're nowhere near as scary, although it does depend on who's wearing them. Okay, so we might choose a picture of a gator. There we go. And we drop him in. And because I've inserted it directly, it's gone in and it's filled that box automatically. If I click on here, I can use my up and down arrows to slightly move him around if I want to. But essentially, he's in this box. And if I click the inspect arrow, the inspect button, you'll notice I've got the alternative text, but I can't hyperlink this one. Okay, you can only hyperlink them. So snappy chappy, okay, for want of a better word. So I can't hyperlink that one. But if I just said insert media and then went to import image and again did gator and brought the same image in, probably won't be able to find the same image now, but you get the idea. Bring in the image. Because it's over the top this time, I can resize it however I want. And if I click the inspect button, I can hyperlink it. So that's the difference between the two image options. Okay, just take that out for a moment. The other options we've got in terms of importing are obviously you can bring in any file you like from your computer, any file from your drive, and also embed anything you like. So if I go to YouTube, there we go. If you've never come across YouTube, it's fantastic. And you might want to choose something about gators, for example. Not t-shirts. Gators take over flooded field. Why not? Okay, it sounds fun. So I can click on that. I can get the link for it, minus the Grammarly advert or whatever it is. Bound to be Grammarly. And then I can just say, go to the embed tool, drop my URL in there, confirm the link, and it just checks it is and tells me, is this what you want to put in? I can change the title if I want, so I don't give the game away. So I could just call it, watch this, okay, or what happens next, or anything like that. Add it to my book. I can put it wherever I want. It can be tiny. I can do it that small because when we go to watch it, it's going to pop out, okay? And I'm just going to leave that there for a moment. Again, we might want to do something with our page, so we can go to inspect and maybe give it a different color background, okay? We could even maybe give it a different texture, so we could have a marbleized effect, or wood, for want of a better word, okay? Walnut or whatever it might be. And then this is the bit I really love, okay? Yes, you've got your stickers and there's loads of them and you can play around with them. Yes, you've got your text and your thought and your speech, okay? And that all comes with the comics. You don't get the stickers option and the panels options if you go for the blank page option at the start, okay? So you don't get the option of using these and you don't get the option of these layouts, okay? But the other bit I really love is the pen tool, because you've got a pencil, a paintbrush, a crayon and a highlighter. You can choose your colors, okay, but I tend to draw with black. You can even have magic ink that changes color the more you use, okay? And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up the pencil here and I'm going to start drawing, okay? So I'm going to draw because I'm rubbish, I'm going to draw a football, okay? Now, that's a terrible football. We don't like that at all. It might as well.
Actually, it looks more like a soccer ball.
Yeah, well, I was thinking it looks a lot like your space hat that you were wearing yesterday at the SmackDown. So I don't like that. So I'm going to get rid of that because actually I'm not very good at drawing. So I'm just going to rub that out. And instead of drawing it myself, I am going to go to auto draw. And now I'm going to draw it. And it doesn't matter where I draw it. Now I draw my football. And it's going to start to suggest, and that's what I'm after. So now it's drawn my football for me. I can resize that however I want because we all know alligators love playing football or soccer, depending on where the alligators come from. Okay. So now I've included that, I can just close this and I can use the paint tool to paint my football. So I can go for example, a nice traditional red color. And I just click on the sections and it colors it for me. And then I can change to a different color and click on the other sections and it colors it for me. And this is all part of one drawing. And then I might decide, well, actually, do you know what? I'd like a foot kicking that as well. So let's give that a go with the auto draw. So there's a foot and, ooh, that's terrible, but there we go. Actually, they're not a bad effort there. Yeah, that one will do. Okay, I'm happy with that. We're going to have a little bit of a bigger foot and then I can go back and I can use my colors again. And I can say, actually, I'm going to have traditional colors. I can do my paint fill that. I quite like the bottom of my sole to be green because I'm a bit strange. There we go. And let's go for blue along here. Oh, and it's changed the whole thing. Okay, so we can just undo that because we don't like that. And just click on just that little section. And you can see every gap then you can just work with differently. And let's just throw a different nice masculine pink in there just for the hell of it. And now we've got our image. Now that is one image, okay? So I click done. It processes that image as one thing. So I can move the two things together. And I can resize the two things together and they stay together. Okay, if I want to add a third picture over the top, I can just go back to the drawing and I can insert that pen again, go back to the auto draw and I can add something else in. So if I wanted to, I could give it a go at trying to draw, for want of a better word, a goal. And I'm rubbish at it, but you know, you get the idea. And it might come up with it. It depends on whether it suggests it or not. There you go. Let's have a garden fence instead. Okay, and we can just do it that way. So this idiot here is going to kick the ball over the garden fence, for example, and then it's going to get eaten by an alligator, unless we're very unlucky. So it's just dropping that in for me. I can then close that. I can come back here again. I can say, do you know what? I'd like my fence to be maybe brown. So I can start clicking on that. There we go. I'm happy. I'm done. Now it's a separate image. I can move the fence separately. Okay. So that's that part of it. And then the other bit and pieces is you can add a recording. So here I can record my voice. Ah, you idiot. Don't kick your ball over there. The gators will have it. And you can just test it and then place it in there. And it puts a nice little sound bite there. But what's even better, and I love this, if I just go over here and I'm going to try searching for, and I might not get anything, but I'm going to try Gator Sound MP3. Alligator Sound Snap. Let's have a look. Okay, we can listen to it. So we've got 7 seconds, 8 seconds. There we go. 3 seconds. Let's try that 8-second one. Download that. Oh, it's going to ask me to log in this one. Okay, so I don't want to use Sound Snap. Let's try something else. See if I can find one. Find sounds. Let's give that a go. Alligator hiss, crocodile. Oh no, you get upset if we call him a crocodile. There we go. Let's try that one. So we could copy that URL, come in here, go to media, go to import, go to embed, and we can try this and see if it works. Okay. Now in this case, it's in there. It's got to give it a title. So let's call this mood music, just to see whether we can get people in the mood for a bit of alligator. It can sit in there as a link, okay? So that the students would know, click on it. It does open in a new window, so that's not ideal. So let's do this a different way. Gator sounds and see if I can get an actual MP3 that doesn't require us to do the same thing. Free sound effects, let's try that. Alligator, 3 seconds. Fine, yeah, that'll do. What's a balligator? What's the difference? Is it an alligator that likes playing with balls? I don't know.
It could be.
Yeah, maybe this is a balligator. Who knows? So now, if I don't like that, okay, I can get rid of that. Don't like that. It's a bit messy. But I can go here. I can go import. I can now go files. I can bring in the downloaded alligator sound. This time, it plays within it. You know, so if you're making a book about the jungle, you can have jungle sounds going on in the background, and crickets and all sorts of, you know, weird things, elephants and all sorts of stuff going there. All right. So there's loads of bits and pieces you could do. And when you're happy with your book, okay, all you need to do, you go back to your book. You have the option down here to publish online. So you can either download it as an ebook or you can print it. So if you click download as an ebook, first of all, we haven't published this. This is if we just want to use this within school. So we publish as an ebook. I've lost my mouse. Where's it gone? The alligator's eating it. Here we go. Open it up. And here it is as an ebook. And we can just click on it. And we can play the videos. Wow, this is amazing. And we can play the alligators. And that one's going to ask us to leave, okay, because this is an ebook. We can be happy with that if we want, and it will just pop it out. But if we do it as a published book, it's even better. So if we go publish online, give our book a title. So we'll call it GEG SoFla Balligators. Okay, we publish that. Woohoo! We have a big. There's our public link. Okay, so I've copied that. I can put that in the chat. There we go. Let's just drop that in. Okay, and obviously on screen as well, I can say, right, let's read it online. So this now takes me to the reading version, and I can have it read to me. But before I do that, I can choose what voice I want. So at the moment, I've got Great Britain Daniel, but I might choose, instead of that, to go with Karen from Australia or Fred from the United States.
Fred.
There's Fred. Okay. And I might also want to choose what speed Fred reads at. So I'm going to speed him up a bit. I can pick out highlighted words, play the multimedia, and turn pages automatically. So all I've got to do now is click read to me.
GEG SoFla. Introduction. Florida is quite wet. Amazing. The grumpy orange man. You're doing a great job.
Wow, this is amazing. They let orange people onto planes. Fantastic. I actually am in with a chance with my hair. Brilliant.
Snappy chappy.
Ah, you idiot. Don't kick your ball over there. The Gators will have it.
Watch this. You've reached the end of the book. Read again.
And then you just stop reading at any point and go back. And obviously, you can also read through at your own speed as well. But absolutely fantastic tool. And so much fun can be had with it. And if you go into, if we just come out of this view and just go back for a second and go into resources, you can see other people's resources in here for different grades, even pre-kindergarten and kindergarten kids putting things together, and by subject. So you've got maths and English examples, case studies and all that kind of stuff. And then also some examples. So a chap that we know called Lance Keys made one all about maths projects. There's high school classroom, reading responses, formative assessment, loads of examples, but equally you can click on math and it will say 13 math projects for, that's Lance's book. Then it will give you some examples here. And then it also offers you some case studies down the bottom as well, like additional resources and how people went about it, and examples and tutorials and loads of things like that. So if you're short of inspiration, you can just come into this book creator area and just kind of see what other people have done. If we just go back really quickly to that top there and look at some of these pre-kindergarten ones, you can really see there's some fantastic books being put together. Like I Want to Be a Superhero. Like, don't we all? But here you've got all of the kids in the class.
I want to be a superhero. I want to be a superhero.
Don't we all? Okay. And then you can just whiz through it, and each kid's got their own little section.
I can share my plans.
Yeah, superheroes share their crayons.
I can share my plans.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm inspired. So what a great way to do like an end of year yearbook for a kindergarten group or something like that. You know, really, really fantastic, really inspiring ideas. So all I would say is, like I said at the beginning to a couple of people, just click stuff. Like, click it, see what happens. Just click. What's the worst that can happen? You don't have to save it. And the best bit about it is, even after you've published it, at any point, if you need to go in and change something, the next person that clicks gets the updated version. So you haven't got to send out a message to other people saying, by the way, I've updated this. The next time they open it, they get the newer version. So just like a Google document, you always get the latest version. So yeah, and like we said, if you want to, you can copy the books, you can move them, you can import other people's books as well, and you can combine them or delete them anytime you like. So really, really cool. All I would say is, if you want to have a look in more detail, I'm just going to put my bit.ly in here, which is bit.ly Ranganation, and that will take you to my library. All right?
Totally amazing. You've
This is incredible.
changed my entire concept of what book creator is. Seriously, I had no idea. I thought it was, I mean, I knew that it was like a cross-curricular thing, but I thought it was just kind of like, okay, make a pretty page and then go on. That was absolutely fabulous.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're incredibly amazing at it.
Yeah.
Like I
Wow,
said,
so seamless. Seamless. I mean, it was great. I had no idea that you could even do so many things in Book Creator.
Yeah.
No.
This
And
is
that's
going to
what
take virtual learning like next level. Like, for people that are intimidated, if we can get them in and start playing with this and create their own style with their book creator, like, that's going to come across when they can add in their voice, their videos, and the kids are going to have that connection without being face to face.
Yeah.
And like you say, hearing your voice and seeing your face makes such a difference. Particularly now that for a lot of you guys, I know it might be January before they're back in school and seeing you again. So that connection is so vital. And they have that connection as well, because they can do it.
Seeing us the first time, because our kids are going to be starting school the year without ever having seen us. So, you know, it's like putting ideas in your head, like even having a little book creator book about yourself as a teacher.
That's so funny, because I was thinking About Me is the kids could make their own About Me little books.
Yes. And then you share them with each other. All in the library.
Yeah.
Let's all get to know each other.
Uh-huh.
I love that.
And, you know, if they're collaborating, you could even say, all leave one page blank at the end of your book. Everyone's going to have a read and leave some questions for you.
Wow.
That's cool.
Love it.
Yeah,
So
now we're developing rapport before we do any type of group work. And
So
Wow.
aside from getting more books, and what are the other features besides the free one and the pro version?
The pro version, you get more libraries.
Okay.
So, for example, if you teach more than one class, you could have libraries for different classes, different year groups, or even different schools. Or you could have a student one and a staff one, for example. And you can have, with the next level up, you can go to 180 books, which obviously is a massive jump. And then I think the full version, you can have 1,000 books. But the other thing is, there is no limit on the number of people that you can share a library with. So you could share it with the whole school.
Is there a limit?
And the parents, you know.
Is there a limit to the number of pages that you can have in a book?
I've not found one yet.
Okay.
I've seen examples that go well into the hundreds.
Oh, awesome. What about, so I noticed like with auto draw and things like that, that a lot of the apps that have auto draw are good for tablets or like on the phone. Can you use Book Creator on the phone or tablet?
You can. I've never used it on the phone, to be honest with you, because I've got big fingers and little phones don't really work well with me. It does work on tablets. There's an iOS version as well as a Chrome version, obviously. So it does work on Chrome tablets. It does work on iPads. Some of the features are slightly different on iOS to Chrome.
Okay.
But essentially, there's similar features there. I don't think the Google Maps integrates as well on the iOS as it does on Chrome for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But ultimately, there's no reason why you couldn't start a book on iOS on an iPad and then when you're in school, continue it on a Chrome. It's not that you can't work with the two compatibility-wise. So, you could, if you are desperately, I can't do that on an iPad, you could say, I'm going to wait and do that bit until I've got it on a Chromebook, for example.
Right.
You can log in because it's all web-based.
And
So
have you seriously, did you start seriously using this like 3 months ago?
Yeah.
Oh my
gosh.
Yeah, just like I said.
He doesn't work for Book Creator. Daren is an educator in the UK, so it's not like he's here touting his own. I mean, he's touting his own stuff because it's incredible, but it's not like he's paid to be here. He is an educator that found this, or it found him, and he's taken it and run with it.
I just think it's brilliant. And what I've done, I've created a Google Classroom for all of our staff. And in there, I've been putting all of my videos and things in, but I've also put all of the books in there so that they can go read these anytime they like. And they can dip in at their own pace.
You're amazing, Daren. Anybody else have any questions? Well, thank you so much for joining us. That was awesome. And
so awesome. Thank you, Daren.
Inspiration
other people. Love to see. Oh, I should have said as well, when you download it as an ebook, obviously you can add it to Apple Books and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So then it is like easily accessible on our iPads and things like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd love to see what you guys come up with. So if you do create something, do share it.
I know, I feel like I barely touched the surface with mine. And I'm kind of happy that I didn't see this beforehand because I never would have had it done on time.
There's so many options.
I know. Like I could have put my video into my pages. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So myself and Robin, Rachel, Rachel, myself and Robin were asked to make a video for WeVideo about our Book Creator books about WeVideo. So we made a Book Creator book about WeVideo, and then we made a video about creating the book about the books about WeVideo.
Oh wow!
And so the video is not us making the books. It's bonkers, but brilliant. So easy to do.
Definitely, and your presentation was incredible, Daren. I mean, it was easy to follow. And you just really kind of definitely inspired me and clearly inspired everybody who's here. So I think there'll be quite the uptick in that. And we appreciate it. And I know that you've been busy all day. You said that this is your 5th presentation today, not just on Book Creator, but because of the whole back to school thing. And you're 5 hours ahead in the UK. So it's ending on 11 o'clock in the evening for you. So, I mean, really, honestly, we appreciate your time, and that was.
Only sorry that Eric couldn't be here as well, but things get in the way sometimes, don't they? But I'm sure we'll catch up another time. But like I say, do give me a follow on Twitter if anybody's interested.
Yes.
All the links and things are in the books as well. But if you've got any further questions and things, just drop me a message, and I'm more than happy to help. But thanks for having me because I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Daren.
Thank you, Daren.
We've got a couple other things that we're going to wrap up, but if you need to go, totally get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the sack before I drop down. Okay.
Thank you, Daren.
See you later, guys. Take care.
Bye, Daren.
Bye. All right, so we're just going to wrap up a couple things. Jody, you want to tell everybody about our vacancy for our captain position that has yet to be filled?
Yeah, so we have our last leadership, our last captain position is our Learn captain, which is basically the person who's in charge of communicating with the community and our members to kind of figure out what learning we want to do as an entire group, and then setting up those types of learning opportunities. So of course, anybody that comes on is going to work with the group. We don't expect you to like know your role right away. We will get you plugged in and tell you everything that's expected, because it can feel like a lot to like think you're going to step into this role, but we have an awesome crew and so much support. So if you're up for something like that, if you think you're interested, definitely reach out to us. I believe we have an application or form to fill out essentially, so that way we can kind of just keep all that stuff together. So if you are interested, please reach out to us so that way we can get that going for you.
Cool. And speaking about reaching out, we are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We have a website. So please reach out to us. We can only be as good as you allow us to be, and we can only be as good as you need us to be. And right now, I think it's super important for us to be able to fulfill the needs of everybody out there. And it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't have to just be South Florida, because really, as a world, we're all in this together. We're all experiencing new things. And the more that we can contribute, the more that we can help each other, the better we become. So on that note, Stephanie, would just tell everybody about the feedback form and how important it is to do that.
Yes, our feedback form right now is in our chat. And I think, Jody, did you just put it back up there for us?
Sure did.
Yes, thank you, Jody. And
You're
once you
welcome.
fill that out, it's super fast, super simple. You'll actually get a certificate that's going to get sent directly to you because you participated, and we appreciate that you did. So thanks.
And you might, we can't promise, because of course, everybody's different, but it may be able to contribute towards any PD points that you may be able to get with whatever district you're with. If there's anything in addition that you need, just reach out, and if we can help you out with that, we certainly are more than willing to. So on that note, we want to thank everybody for coming. It's been awesome. This is our first member meeting after our launch. We plan on doing our member meetings the second Thursday of every month. And based on your feedback, we'll know like optimum times, if like this is a good time for everybody. And we are more than willing, like I said, to adjust to whatever the needs are of the community. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to stop the recording, and we will say goodnight.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right.